Okay, let's start our class. In today's session,
Okay.
we will study about file handling, where we will study about uh, text file and binary file, right? So let's
Okay.
make an empty file of Python, which name is file
Okay.
handling, right? So this is the file name,
Yeah.
nothing else. Dot
Okay.
py.
Yeah.
Here,
Okay.
here we will write um, a program to create a text file, right? To make a
Okay.
function def write, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Before making a program of file handling, um, um, there is a something which is we don't need to import any library while creating a while creating or writing a program for file handling, right? So we are having a same key function that is open, where we will pass a file name, which can be anything. Suppose that my file name is sample dot txt. Txt is the extension of text file, right? Now the next thing is we have to pass that the mode, the mode in which mode you want to open your file, right? Suppose I want to open my file in read mode, so I will pass R for read the file in read mode, right? So same as we will create an alias with a short name that is file object, right? FOBT. After this, if we are opening the file in read mode, right? So make sure the file should be exist in your local machine. If your file does not exist in your local machine, so that will generate an error. The file is not exist, right? So first create a file, or you can write a file first by passing the write mode, right? So after that we will read the file, right? So here um, you can call uh, write method directly with the file object, that is file dot write, right? So here you can pass any text inside it. Suppose that this is my first programming in file handling, right? So this is a very simple program, right? And now after this you can also pass a message, file has been created, right? And after this close that file with the close function or close keyword, right? After that call the function with its name, that is write, and I execute this program. That means file has been created. Now check the file is created or not, right? So here you can see that this is my folder. This is my current directory where I have saved my program of file handling, right? So here you can see that a text file has been created, which is sample. Now open this file and see this. The content has been written, which we had passed in the program while calling the write method, right? So now the next thing is what you can also um, take content from the user and write onto the file. Suppose I declare a variable that is st string, right? So string is nothing, just a variable name, right? And I am taking input from the user here. Suppose I say that write from here, right? So now what will happen, and pass this variable in place of string, right? So pass this variable name where an string will be asked from the user and will be written onto the file, right? Here you can see that. Suppose this is first program, right? And now I entered what what uh, what it has written. It has written file has been created. Now check the file has been created or not. See this file is created and the content also has written onto the file, right? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now in that way we can um, create text file with a short code, that is these are the lines, right? So now create a function for reading the content from the file, right? So I say that read for reading the content from the file. With the same key function, we have to pass the file name. Make sure the file name should be correct. With that name, if the file is exist, right? So that the content will be read from the file. If the file does not exist with that name, we will get an error, right? So make sure if you are open your file in read mode, then the file should be exist in your local machine or in the directory, in the root directory, right? So now create an alias with a short name that is file object, right? By using this object, call a simple method that is read method, right? And uh, the file which you are passing here will be referenced by this, and all the content from this file will be read with the read method, right? And now store that content with in a variable that is content. Suppose I say, and after this apply a loop for reading the content character by character, right? So suppose I print I here. Now I call the same function with the same name. Now close that file first, and now call that function with the same name, read. Now in that situation, what will happen? All the content will be read, and all the characters will be printed in the next line, right? Because the print function print all the content, all the statements in the next line by default, right? So by you you want to remove the definition of the next line, so you have to pass and attribute here, right? Like that. Now execute the same program and you will get the file content will be displayed as we have written to see in the file, right? So this is the first program, right? This is the simple content, right? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Suppose if I say that this is line 1, right? Line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, right? So we are having 5 lines in this file, right? And if I execute this program, all the lines will be printed or will be read from the file by character, right? And I want to read the content line by line. What I have to do is just call the read line method, which means all the contents, all the content from the file will be read line by line. The first at the first time, the first line will be read, and in the second time, the second line will be read, and so on, right? So in that way, by using read line method, we we read the content from the file line by line, right? In that situation, see, look at this, what will happen? All the content will read line by line. So if just remove this and print content, and now suppose if I write same statements again and again, right? In that in that statement, in that line, the first line will be read, right? First line will be read. In the second, in that statement, the second line will be read. In the third statement, in that statement, the third line will be read, right? So look at that. First line will be read, and then second, then third, right? And see this, in after every line you will get some space, right? So how will you
Yes.
remove this space? How will you remove this space in between the line? By giving an attribute that is and, right? So simply pass this attribute in every statement for reading the file, reading the line. Now this, all spaces has been removed from the file, right? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So after this, you can also use read lines method. Read lines method is used to read the content in that way. So all it will return uh, a list which has some elements. The first element is the first line, and the second element in the list is second line, and the third element is the third line in the list, right? So all the lines will be represented as uh, elements in the list, right? So it will return all the lines as elements in the list, right? So after this, now just print content, then it will return all the lines in the list as the elements. This is the line one, and put after every line, it will put this slash n to understand this is the second line which will start after this slash n, right? So this is the first line which is first element in the list. This is the second line which is the second element in the list, and this is the third line which is the third element in the list. And all the lines, doesn't matter how many lines are there in the list, but all the lines will be written in the list as an element, right? Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay, um, so how many methods we have studied today?
One, two method.
One, two, or four? How many methods?
Two.
We have studied about two operation in file handling, that is
Yes.
read and write. In write method, we have studied only the one method, that is write. In the read operation, we have studied about three types of methods. The first one is read, and the second one is read line, and the third one is read lines. The first one is read. Read method is used to read the file character by character, right? Read the content character by character from the file, right? Suppose if I use this method, by using this method, the content will be read character by character, right? And if I use this method, read line method, this method read content line by line. The first line will be written at the first time, and the second line will be written in the second time, right? So after this, we are having one more method, that is read lines. What uh, will happen if I use this method? By using this method, all the lines in the file will be returned in the list as a as an element. The first line will be the first element in the list, and the second line will be the second element in the list, and the third line will be the third element in the list, and so on, right? So this will return all the lines in the list as an element, right? So this will
Yes.
use for uh, this will use read the content line by line, and this method will use read the content character by character. Suppose if I want to calculate the characters from the file, so how many characters are there in the file, right? So I will use read method. How? So just you can if you want to calculate the characters in the file, so just call the read method, and now after this um, take a variable that is count. Count is equal to 0. Initialize the value by 0, right? Now after this for in content, right? And just uh, count plus is equal to 1. All the content will be read character by character and will be passed to the variable I, and loop will be executed up to the length of the content, right? So in every pass, the value of count variable will be incremented by 1, right? So here we print count variable, right? So now 74 uh, characters are there in the file. How? Suppose uh, if I write hello world, right? Let's see what will happen. How many characters will it return? It will return 12 characters. How many characters are there in the file? Let's count one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The space also will be counted, right? So the character space will also be counted here. Okay.
Yes.
So count the number of characters here. How many characters are there in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So that's why
Yes.
it has written 12 characters here. Now let's make one more program, that is count the number of words. How many words are there in the file? How many words are there? Tell me how many words are there in the file, in that file. Hello?
Yes.
How many words are there in the file? There are 2 words. The
Yes.
first
2
one is
words
hello, and the second one
and
is
1.
world, right? And
Yes.
now tell me, this is my file. How many words are there in that file?
Yes. 4.
4, right? So there are 4 words in that file, right? And let me count. How we count that word? Um, you have to write one more statement, that is, uh, suppose a word and now split from the space. Wherever the space found, the string will be splitted from the space, right? So
Yes.
in that situation, um, now pass the words, all the words will be passed to the variable I and will be counted by counter, that is count, and every time in every pass the value of count variable will be incremented by 1, right? So in that situation, in that time, it will return the how many characters, how many words are there. There are 4 words,
So,
right? And
yeah.
we can also do formatting of this. There are words, right?
Okay.
So suppose that there are 4 words. Now just call the write method first, right? And
Yeah.
execute the same program. Suppose that this is file handling program, right? How many words are there in that file? How many words we are going to write in that file? Count. Let's count the number of words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many words?
5.
5. See this. File has been created and it has written there are 5 words, right?
Okay.
In that way, we can count the number of words or the characters in that file, right?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Um, now, suppose you want to know the position of your cursor. If I say, if I ask you that what is the position of your cursor? What is the cursor position? Can you please tell me the cursor position? This is your cursor position. And if I put that cursor position here, so what will be the
Yes.
cursor position? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? This is the 8th position of my cursor. And you actually want to know that the cursor position of your cursor, right? So just
Yes.
print content dot tell. Tell method is used to tell the position of your cursor. It will return the
Yes.
cursor position, where your cursor, um, at what position your cursor is, right? So it will return the
Yes.
cursor position.
Yes.
Wait for a moment.
Okay.
See this. 30. It has written 30. Now count the cursor position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Your cursor is at last position, that is 30, right? So it will
Yes.
only suppose um, suppose you want to read uh, only the five starting characters from the file. Suppose you want to write only the five starting characters. Just call the just pass the number of characters which um, you want to you want to read from the file, and now when the content, your starting five characters will be read from the file, and after this, the position, this statement will tell the position of your cursor, right? So here you will see that the starting character, the cursor, the starting five characters will be read. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is what? 5 is the space. Space. This is the space which is also be included, right? So this is the character 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at what position your cursor is? The cursor position is fifth. And suppose if you want to read five more characters from the file, so this statement will read the next five characters from the file, and after this, the content, the characters will be printed by this statement, and this statement will tell the position of your cursor. If I ask in that statement, uh, what is the position of your cursor? How many characters we have read from here? How many characters we have read from here? Tell me.
Yeah.
How many characters we have? Five. Five
Yeah,
characters
5,
we
yes.
have. Yes. And the cursor position is what? Cursor position is what?
The cursor position.
Your cursor position
Yes,
is also 5 because we have
yes. Because
the,
it's over 5.
yes, the by default the file will be read from the first character. The position of your character is 1 by default, right? So at the first time we have read only the five characters from the file 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now what is the cursor position of your cursor? This is the cursor position is also 5, right? Now in the second statement is what? This is the second statement. We have uh, we have read next five characters, right? So your next five characters will be read from here. One, two, three, four, five, right? And now tell
Yes.
me what is the position of your cursor here?
Yes.
What what is the position of your cursor here?
I or L.
Five, five.
Yes.
We have
Five.
five. We have read earlier, right here, and next five we have read here, right? So five plus
Yes.
five will
Ten.
be
10. 10.
10. So your cursor position is 10 here. Now the cursor
Yes.
position is 10 here. See this. It will return the first five character first, and the cursor position is 5. In the
Yes.
next statement, it will read the next five character 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the now it will tell the actual position of your cursor is 10. And uh, if I say read two characters, so now the now tell me the position of your cursor. What is the cursor position?
The cursor position
What is the cursor position of our cursor?
is 12.
12.
12.
What is the cursor position of our cursor? How many
From where?
how many characters we have read here?
10.
That means um, the cursor position um, of this statement is 10, and in the
Yes.
next line, in the next statement, how many characters we are reading?
2.
4.
4.
2 we are
2.
reading 2.
2.
Then the cursor position is what?
2.
10 plus
2. 12.
12. Now
Yes.
now the after this statement, the next two character will be read. The content will not be read from the starting, right? So
Yes.
if you are reading your content by this method, the first five character will be read from at the first time, and at the next time, and the next five character will be read, and in the next
Mm.
line the next two characters will be read. So now the final cursor position is what? 12. Let's see this. It will return the next two characters after the 10th position. See this. After the 10th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the 10th position, and after this, after 10th position, we have read two more characters, that is LE, and now the cursor position is what? 10 plus 2 is 12. Is it clear?
Yes. No.
Oh, okay. So in the next lecture, we will discuss some more methods of file handling, and after that, we will move to the binary file. Um, there, we will study about how to write binary file, how to read the content from the binary file. Right? We are having the
Yes.
same operations on the binary file, but we have to do that in the next section, right? Till that, goodbye.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye. Bye.